Well, about 5 minutes into the ride, I realized there is one thing that I forgot to do. Face shield started fogging up almost instantly, and I've been researching and reading, and everybody swears by the pin lock face shields. I don't know what makes them anti-fog or whatever, but that's what everybody says. So when I get home today, I'm going to sit down, and one of the first things I want to do is order a pin lock face shield and see if that makes any kind of difference. I fought with that issue on the BDRX we did. Hank was having problems with his goggles fogging. My face shield kept fogging. I kept having to crack it open. And there were a couple of days it was extremely cold, so I figured what the heck, might as well give the pin lock a shot and see if it works. Can't hurt. We had some good rain on Friday, so the roads are still pretty damp, which is nice. Definitely no dust so far. But this is just a little bit of a backcountry road ride. I start picking these roads up about 5 miles from my house. I'd originally planned on going down to the Red Oak covered bridge. And just looking at the time and everything, I got a later start than I planned on. So I'll probably stop by the Star Mills waterfall, an old mill, on the way back, and try to throw up the drone and test it out. I'm still learning on how to use it. The one I got, the follow feature, seems to track a little slow. I used the tracking on the side-by-side, so I need to throw it up and see if I can figure it out a little bit better. But it's nice getting out on roads like this and being able to ride and lower the air pressure already before you even left the house. Just gonna hit some of these back roads. So with winter hopefully starting to come to an end, I don't want to get blazing hot. 70s is fine with me. We're already starting to look at planning either a late March, which is what we did last year, ride on the Smoky Mountain 500, or an early April ride possibly. But we are doing a combination. Looking to do 4 days. I've got plotted out a hybrid ride, I can't even say that, of possibly using some of the Smoky Mountain 500 and the new BDRX ride. So I've been playing around with some of the off-roads on Ride with GPS and basically just trying to make our own tracks. Because what I've said before in other videos, the guys I ride with, we're not sticklers on having to do an exact track and stay on it just to show, say that we did it. We basically just want to get out and ride and try to find as much, at least on dirt road or gravel road like this, as we possibly can. So that Ride with GPS app's a great way to edit and find roads. That's how I found all of these roads out here. It shows on there 100% pretty much what's a dirt road and what's not. after the last snow, I had to go up to Nashville. So I left the XP 1000 down at the lake along with my trailer. So I think the game plan, Pheasant's Place, is I think we're going to go back down the lake this weekend. And there's two possibilities. If I can get anybody to ride with me, I might go down early, grab the toy hauler, grab the XP, and then pull over to Top Trails and do a camp and ride weekend. If I can't get anybody to go camping, then I think what I'm just going to do is go down the lake. And Durham town is only about 65 miles, 55 miles from me, and just pull over there and do a day ride. It's been a couple of years since I've been out there, so I might give them another shot. So Durham town's a great place. I think they got a little over 100 miles of trails, but the problem is the entire 100 miles isn't open to side-by-sides. Some are single track, some are ATV exclusive. They do have a lot of specialty tracks, which can be fun. And the good thing is all their trails are one way, so it definitely makes it one of the safer places that you can ride. Don't worry about head-on collisions. But they went up on their prices, and believe me, I'm not cheap, but you can go to Hatfield and McCoy, and for $60 for an entire year, ride over 900 miles all over West Virginia. And Durham town charges $60 per session on the side-by-side. And when I say per session, it's not even really a complete 24-hour period, because the park is only open from like 8:30 in the morning till sunset. So you gotta stay on your machine and get your riding in if you want to do a bunch of riding there. The other issue we've had the last two times we got over there, and they had a number of trails closed down. And the reason being, they told us after we paid and rode for a couple of hours, was that they didn't want to do trail maintenance because when it was wet, the trails got too rutted. And you know, I don't know, color me dumb, but the whole purpose of off-road riding is to ride off-road. So it sort of ticked us off because they're charging you full price and they're not giving you total access to the park. So, but like I said, it's been a while, so I think we'll go over, give it a shot, and try it again. And that's, like I said, if the guys don't want to go to Top Trails and go camping, if I have to ride by myself, at least Durham town's a nice, safe place to ride by yourself, side-by-side or ATV. One of the upcoming videos I'm working on is doing sort of a comparison of the 3 routes that we rode in the last year. We did the Smoky Mountain 500, parts of the Mabder, and we did most of the Chattahoochee BDRX. So it's going to be a subjective assessment of the ride, because honestly we haven't done the entire exact route of all of them. So that's something that we've got to, you know, work on. So like I said, we did plot out and do some different side trips and everything, but I'll give you just my opinion on what we rode and when we rode it, and what we thought about them. On the Smoky Mountain 500, we rode it last March, so almost a year ago. And some of the North Carolina National Forest roads were still closed until April, so we didn't get on them. We rode the first day from Robbinsville to Tellico Plains. We got a late start, getting lost and this and that. We were running late and everybody was tired, people were low on fuel, so we didn't run the Whit Road section, which I know is sacrilegious, whatever, but we didn't do it. And then that night, it stormed like a son of a gun. I mean, like, we were thinking tornado type storming. And the route from Cherahalla to Suches, we had to abandon the route only about 20 miles in, because there were so many downed trees that we couldn't get around them. It was pouring down rain. We were wet. It was cold. So we nixed that ride and rode over straight to Suches. So I don't have a complete assessment of that stage. Then we rode from Suches all the way back to Robbinsville, and that is an awesome route. I love that route. The forest roads in North Carolina, the Nantahala, they're a lot like this type of road here. That was a beautiful ride through the North Carolina mountains. We did the Mabder in July, which was a huge mistake. And what I mean by that is we hit record heat in July, and it was brutal. And we had a lot of people, you know, say you can ride the first and second stage in one day. I don't think so. And I'll get into that on that video. But we only went up to about half of the third, so I don't have a complete assessment of the Mabder. But I'll be honest, what we rode in 1 and 2 and part of 3, I really wasn't impressed. The whole time we were riding it, I was thinking, man, we should have been on the Smoky Mountain 500. On the BDRX, the only thing that we didn't ride, now we did make a few adjustments because we stayed over in East LJ, was we did not ride the most eastern loop that goes from Clayton to Dillard because we were running short on time, and instead we opted and rode part of the Georgia Adventure Trail just south of Clayton at Lakemont to where we had the vehicles parked. So like I said, I've yet to do all 3 complete rides. What's my favorite? I don't know. We'll get to that figured out. Well, I plotted out a new route using a lot of dirt to get down to the Red Oak Creek covered bridge by straight asphalt. It's probably about 32 miles, but been able to plot out a bunch of dirt road to get down there and get back. So like I said, if the weather holds out this week, might try to jump out early one day and do the ride. It's going to take me a couple of hours the way I've got it plotted out, but I need to start getting my butt used to the seat again for the upcoming long rides. So I don't have to go through that whole saddle sore thing right off the bat again after 10 miles. So anyway, said I guess game plan B is maybe a ride during the week, and then this weekend taking the side-by-side to either Top Trails outside of Talladega to camp and ride, or if I can't get anybody to go, head over to Durhamtown, as it's less than an hour from the lake, and do some ripping on Saturday and just do a one-day ride over there. So anyway, that's the game plan. Now time for the most important part of the day. Go eat.